Phase 4. Review. It's one thing to write down that you need milk. It's another to be at the store and remember it. Likewise, writing down that you need to call a friend for the name of an estate attorney is different from remembering it when you're at a phone and have some discretionary time. You need to be able to review the whole picture of your life and work at appropriate intervals and appropriate levels. For most people, the magic of workflow management is realized in the consistent use of the review phase. This is where you take a look at all your outstanding projects and open loops. It's your chance to scan all the defined actions and options before you. What to review when? If you set up a personal organization system structured as I recommend, with a projects list, a calendar, next actions lists, and a waiting for list, not much will be required to maintain that system. The item you'll probably review most frequently is your calendar. It's a good habit, as soon as you conclude an action on your calendar, a meeting, a phone call, the final draft of a report, to check and see what else remains to be done. After checking your calendar, you'll most often turn to your next actions lists. These hold the inventory of predefined actions that you can take if you have any discretionary time during the day. Projects, waiting for, and someday maybe lists need to be reviewed only as often as you think they have to be in order to stop you from wondering about them. The critical success factor, the weekly review. Everything that might potentially require action must be reviewed on a frequent enough basis to keep your mind from taking back the job of remembering and reminding. In my experience, that translates into a behavior critical for success, the weekly review. All of your open loops, projects, active project plans, and next actions, agendas, waiting for, and even someday maybe lists should be reviewed once a week. If you're like most people, you've found that things can get relatively out of control during the course of a few days. That's to be expected. You wouldn't want to distract yourself from too much of the work at hand in an effort to stay totally squeaky clean all the time. But in order to afford the luxury of getting on a roll with confidence, you'll probably need to clean house once a week. The weekly review is the time to gather and process all your stuff, review your system, update your lists, and get clean, clear, current, and complete. Phase 5. Do. The basic purpose of this workflow management process is to facilitate good choices about what you're doing at any point in time. At 10:33 a.m. Monday, deciding whether to call Sandy, finish the proposal, or process your emails will always be an intuitive call. But with the proper pre-planning, you can feel much more confident about your choices. 3 models for making action choices. Let's assume for a moment that you're not resisting any of your stuff out of insecurity or procrastination. There will always be a large list of actions that you are not doing at any given moment. So how will you decide what to do and what not to do and feel good about both? The answer is by trusting your intuition. If you have collected, processed, organized, and reviewed all your current commitments, you can galvanize your intuitive judgment with some intelligent and practical thinking about your work and values. I've developed some models that will be helpful for you to incorporate in your decision-making about what to do. They won't tell you answers, but they will assist you in framing your options more intelligently. The 4 criteria model for choosing actions in the moment. At 3:22 on Wednesday, how do you choose what to do? There are 4 criteria you can apply in this order: context, time available, energy available, and priority. Context. A few actions can be done anywhere, like drafting ideas about a project with pen and paper, but most require a specific location, at home or at your office, or having some productivity tool at hand, such as a phone or a computer. These are the first factors that limit your choices about what you can do in the moment. Time available. When do you have to do something else? Having a meeting in 5 minutes would prevent doing many actions that require more time. Energy available. How much energy do you have? Some actions you have to do require a reservoir of fresh, creative mental energy. Others need more physical horsepower. Some need very little of either. Priority. Given your context, time, and energy available, what action will give you the highest payoff? This is where you need to access your intuition and begin to rely on your judgment call in the moment. To explore that concept further, let's examine 2 more models for deciding what's most important for you to be doing. The threefold model for evaluating daily work. When you're getting things done, there are 3 different kinds of activities you can be engaged in: doing predefined work, doing work as it shows up, and defining your work. When you're doing predefined work, you're working off your next actions lists, completing tasks that you have previously determined need to be done. You're making the calls you need to make or drafting ideas you want to brainstorm. You can also be doing work as it shows up. Often things come up that you either have to or choose to respond to as they occur. For example, your partner walks into your office and wants to have a conversation about the new product launch, so you talk to her instead of doing all the other things you could be doing. Every day brings surprises, and you'll need to expend at least some time and energy on many of them. When you follow these leads, you're deciding by default that these things are more important than anything else you have to do. Now, defining your work entails clearing up your in-basket, your email, your voicemail, and breaking down new projects into actionable steps. A good portion of this activity will consist of identifying things that need to get done sometime, but not right away. You'll be adding to all of your lists as you go along. Once you have defined all your work, you can trust that your lists of things to do are complete, and your context, time, and energy available still allow you the option of more than one thing to do.